Hello from the Brightline train station here in Miami, Florida. Brightline is the first privately operated train service here in the United States in the past 50 years. It connects South Florida's main cities, aiming to do so in quite a modern way compared to our old friend Amtrak. And if you haven't seen that video, there's a link above. The service was launched in 2018 to make travel between Miami, Fort Lauderdale and beyond a little bit easier given the traffic situation in this part of Florida. Today, I'm hopping aboard the quick service between Miami and Fort Lauderdale to see how it measures up. Now, if you're planning a trip in South Florida, you need to know that the Brightline service goes all the way from Miami to Orlando, and they're planning for it to go further to two new stops, Stewart and Cocoa, in the future. All right, let's get inside this station and get on board the train.
Brightline's Miami station is sleek and spacious, with clean lines, high ceilings and plenty of light. It feels more like an airport terminal than a typical train station. There's a handy Joe and the Juice just inside the main entrance. Does anybody else find American Joe and the Juice incredibly expensive? Anyway, thought it was just me. There's free Wi-Fi too, but don't expect blazing speeds. 5 to 6 meg is your lot. After selling my left kidney for a green mile juice, it's time to walk past guest services en route to the train. From the bold yellow branding that's pretty much everywhere, to the polished floors, this is a station they've designed to impress us. Here at Miami Station, you go up one level to get checked in, then there's a waiting area, and you have to go up another level to actually get on the train. But first, let me try to work out how to get through this airport-style ticket scanning area.
My screen couldn't be any brighter.
It took a little bit of time and some uncommunicative staff to get through, and then your bags go through a little security check.
Everyone seemed to have trouble getting through with the electronic tickets because they wouldn't scan. Handy tip, put your phone's screen up to 100% brightness. That seems to help.
We weren't waiting too long for our train. Now you can either take an escalator or the lifts. On this trip, I was travelling with my friend Michael, who you've met on a couple of previous videos.
There you are, Michael. You're on. Here we go.
If, like me, you've taken lots of trains in Europe and lots of Amtrak trains, this bright, spacious carriage will look pretty inviting. Lots of storage here on the right-hand side. Yes, the look and feel is probably a bit corporate grey, but that's okay. It doesn't matter too much. Bear in mind, we're not sitting in a premium service. This is a smart carriage, which I think is the equivalent to economy. Now, they've kept that yellow theme going here on the seat backs with the upholstery. And here we are at our seat 13. This looks pretty good to me.
So these are the smart seats, which are the economy of Brightline. And actually, they're pretty comfortable. It's my friend Michael. Very comfortable. This tray table is extremely firm and it's big enough for you to be able to work from. That won't be happening on this short trip today. Then there's a little drink tray, which is very handy. There's plenty of legroom, even for a tall person like me, 6 foot, 183 centimeters. And here's some information about the onboard menu.
Michael's showing us here the price list. A glass of wine runs for about $10, or you can get a half bottle of Veuve Clicquot champagne for $75.
For your safety, do you want to present this, Michael?
Actionable information in the event of an emergency.
There's plenty of space above the seats on the luggage tray to store even a small roller case. But anything bigger needs to be stored in the storage area at the front of the carriage. There's a coat hook, and for people who need to use a grip to stand up, there's a hand grip here. Sorry for reaching over you, Michael.
Finally, in terms of features, there's a handy armrest between seats.
Attention, Brightline guests, ready for you moving to party momentarily to Orlando. Let's schedule stops in Fort Lauderdale, Virginia, and West Palm Beach.
Welcome aboard. Please take a moment to familiarize yourself with the safety and emergency exit information located in the seat back pocket in front of you. Your train attendants will be with you momentarily for food and beverage service. Bienvenido a bordo.
I know I sound like a broken record, but even in this class, the carriage feels surprisingly upscale. Wide enough seats, calm lighting, a real sense of space. But let's put it to the test. I'm heading to check out the toilet, which I've heard is impressive. Let's discover together behind the sliding door.
Well, this is actually quite nice.
Back outside there's both a trash receptacle and recycling, and this comfortable place to park, which I assume you use while you're waiting to get off the train.
Solo nos detendremos en la estación un momento. If this is your final destination, please gather your belongings. We will only be stopped at the station for a moment. Thank you for riding Brightline. We will be arriving in Fort Lauderdale shortly. If this is your final destination,
Like you're psychic.
please gather your belongings. We will only be stopped at the station for a moment. Llegaremos a Fort Lauderdale en breve.
Our journey today took 33 minutes. Ticket prices for similar journeys cost from $19, though it's usually $29 USD. Brightline offers two classes of service: Smart, which we took, which I've been calling economy and they call business class comfort, and Premium, which has slightly larger seats, has complimentary seat selection, adds a checked bag, and free snacks and drinks.
We're about to arrive at Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If you're tempted to go Premium, it typically costs around $49 US. That's between $20 and $30 US more than the Smart ticket. My first impressions of Fort Lauderdale Brightline station is that this is also super clean, bright, well structured, and on arrival there's a store, so if you need a snack you've got one right there.
Let's just pass through, is it? Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Planet Patrick from here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, after today's short but very positive Brightline service all the way up from Miami Central. Until the next episode, take care. Bye-bye. And featuring Michael Donnelly. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, driver. Bye-bye, driver.